A call on the government to reimpose ban on cutting of rosewood trees in Upper West.
GBC24 takes you to Chokome, a community in Greater Accra named after a tree.
And thousands in Burundi protest AU peace plan.
Good evening, welcome to the studios of GBC24 and GTV. It's time for the news on the last Saturday in the month of December and the last Saturday in 2015. My name is Akushika Akwe.
And I'm Conrad Kakraba.
Boxes may have little importance, but not on a day after Christmas. Today is Boxing Day, when loved ones show a token of their love through gifts. These are presented in what is called Christmas boxes. The day has special names in different parts of the world.
In South Africa, it is called a Day of Goodwill, and in the UK, it is a traditional practice for employers and masters to present gifts to the employees as a sign of appreciation. In other parts of the world, it is a day set aside for shopping. Boxing Day is certainly a special day to put a smile on someone's face with a box of gifts.
And at this time of the year, as it is during major festivals, hundreds of Ghanaians throng the various transport terminals to make their way to their hometowns.
However, a visit by GBC24 to some bus stations in the capital showed rather low patronage by passengers.
Making it home for the holidays sometimes comes with its own challenges, and so it is at Christmas. Reliable transportation is often a major problem at this time, especially at the height of the celebration. For those who wait till the last minute to travel to their hometown, this sometimes is a major problem, as they may become stranded because there are no vehicles available. In years gone by, due to the large number of people who visited their family back home, some passengers ended up sleeping at the transport terminal. However, a visit to some lorry stations on a Boxing Day showed rather low passenger patronage. The Tudu Transport Terminal is a popular lorry station, but when GBC24 got there, only a handful of passengers were seen boarding buses to their destinations. A driver at the station, Koshi Donyo, was unhappy about the situation.
Last year, business was booming.
Too much. It's low.
At the new plant station, the floor leader at the yard, Justice Apia, also narrated how the low patronage is affecting the transport business.
This year, the number of passengers has reduced.
The team also visited the Accra Ho branch of the GPRTU. It was a departure from the norm, with the station virtually empty.
And the Eastern Regional Police Command DCOP Awumbutuge Awuni says there is adequate security for the season and is asking the public to cooperate with the security services. He was speaking in Kofodia.
The Eastern Regional Head of the Motor Traffic and Transport Department, MTTD, of the Ghana Police Service, Chief Superintendent Ebenezer Labi, outlined measures implemented by the department to avoid accidents on the roads this Christmas.
We have the men on the road at a certain vantage point, Osino, Suhum, Nkoko, and Sawem, so that the drivers will reduce their speed during this period so that we will be able to save more lives for Mother Ghana.
The Eastern Regional Police Commander, DCOP Awuni, assured the public of constant police visibility to provide security at all times.
I'm advising vehicle drivers to always ensure that wherever they are stopping for passengers must be areas where they can easily get help. At least within communities, not in somewhere where there's no people that can come to their help.
GBC24 also spoke to some traders who were hoping to cash in before the holidays end. They complained of low sales this season.
Messi first, Papa, Titi was a no cassette and send you to the cry. The Yan San Feniska. I fear where the no master San cry. Yan Todiano. No, send the pan in Nemo.
Vita no Pami Betanano. I could come in Sapeniato.
Oh, a woman no biaba, no better tobacco. A woman no biaba, no better tobacco. And what said last year, beat me ba, me pay be a 5, me pay way, massa.
Some farmers in the Upper West region say they are worried that if the government does not reimpose the ban on the cutting of rosewood in the region, food production will drastically reduce in the next 2 decades. A 45-year-old farmer, Mr. Bawa Duma, told GBC24 that the indiscriminate felling of trees known as rosewood in the Wa East, Sisala East and Sisala West districts will worsen the negative impact of climate change and the plight of farmers.
The government this year lifted the ban on the harvesting of the rosewood tree. This allows selected companies to harvest the trees that were already cut before the imposition of the ban. But the decision has led to the indiscriminate cutting of trees by people who claim to be working for these companies. Many articulated trucks load the products from the Wa East district every month. At a town hall meeting by the district assembly at Funsi, a farmer, Mr. Bawa Duma, said the government must expedite action to save the situation.
Why would they cut down all the trees? Getting to 20 years to come, I don't think we'll get food to eat. That is my concern. They are cutting down the trees. We don't know those people who are cutting down the trees.
In response to the concerns of the farmers, the DCE, Mr. Abdul Karim Abudu, blamed some communities for felling new trees for companies.
Government has lifted that ban and have given some right to some selected companies to evacuate what was cut down, and because of the ban they couldn't evacuate them. That is what the companies are supposed to do. They are not supposed to cut down new trees.
The regional manager of the Forest Services Division of the Forestry Commission, Mr. Isaac Adonting, however, says the Commission has not given any permit to any company or individual to fell trees in the region.
Forestry Commission has not given permit to anybody to do any fresh felling of rosewood in the Upper West region. The permit only detailed some already felled trees, which were supposed to be completed. That is all.
For now, the farmers in the affected districts hope the Regional Coordinating Council will expedite action before the situation gets out of hand.
The face of the capital city is changing. From its high-rise buildings to major road construction, the city of Accra looks nothing like it did just yesterday. One of these major changes is the Kwame Nkrumah Circle interchange. This flyover, which replaces the roundabout, is ongoing. GBC24 has this report on the progress of work and how the newly opened interchange is impacting on traffic flow.
Parts of the country. However, like most developing countries in the world, urbanization is catching up with the city of Accra, and this has led to the influx of people to the city. This, among other things, has led to the need to expand, rehabilitate and sometimes replace some infrastructure in the city to accommodate the needs of the people. For this reason, in October 2013, the sod was cut for the construction of a 3-tier interchange at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle in Accra. The 3-tier interchanges of the Kwame Nkrumah Circle flyover project is therefore to replace the Kwame Nkrumah Circle to make way for the traffic flow by moving some of the traffic onto the 2 flyovers and therefore creating space. So far, 2 of the 3 interchanges of the Kwame Nkrumah Circle flyover project have been completed and were inaugurated by President John Mahama. This signified the completion of the first phase of the interchange project, which is aimed largely at easing the traffic congestion in one of the busiest areas of Accra. The Akasanuma Road that links the Nsawam Road around the Vodafone building and one which links the Nsawam Road to the Nkrumah Avenue around the Ghana Commercial Bank GTV building was open to traffic. Some members of the public gave their impressions about the project.
I mean, when they finish, you will see everything. The place will be very nice.
It will reduce the traffic.
Well, what I can say now is because of the overhead now, it has reduced the congestion of the people over here for us. Now, most of the cars are using the top, and the pedestrians are also using the down.
I think it's a good project because it's going to reduce traffic.
However, an engineer, Mr. Benamponsa Fajo, has raised some concerns about the use of metals on the project and the lack of bus stops, among others.
I am not saying completely that this type of metal or flyover is not among the best. It's among the best, but it's not supposed to be used in the city where we are close to the sea because of corrosion. It will rust. I'm saying it will rust. It will never last for 50, 100 years. Why are they welding on the metal with ferrous and non-ferrous materials? It doesn't go together. At the circle, they didn't provide where the fire tenders are supposed to move. There's no design. There's no bar stop bay.
The director of the Department of Urban Roads, Mr. Abbas Mohammed Awulo, had this response.
You can use concrete, but in terms of the concrete, you might need to use much shorter spans. Then you have a lot more piers and so on and so forth. You could use timber. It's also a construction material. So in terms of construction, it means you can use any of those. What is critical is our maintenance culture. Coming Nkrumah Circle, yes, after every 15 years, we need to paint. But we are shifting that and say that every 5 years, that maintenance regime has to be there. It's lighter, it's quicker in terms of construction. It gives you a lot of urban space beneath this thing. And can work. So, yes, we are close to a sea. Nobody disputes that. But if you don't maintain your structure, be it timber, be it steel, be it concrete, you still have the challenges.
He said the roads have been made into 3 lanes to allow for a bus system to operate.
We have 3 lanes on top, I had told you, on either side. On the ground level, we still have 3 lanes. Again, when you do that, you can exclusively take out 1 lane and say it's for public transport. Do you necessarily need to go and create a bus stop on that? Maybe not. Maybe yes. It depends on how you want to manage the public transport. But 1 lane exclusively can be used for that.
Work on a 3rd interchange, which will link Ring Road Central to Ring Road West, is ongoing. Work on the loop, which would connect to the interchanges, is almost complete. For now, road users will enjoy a freeway on the flyovers, but have to contend with running right back into the traffic at the end of the flyover, where the roads branch into the usual dual and sometimes single roads around the city.
Some towns and communities are named after animate or inanimate things. One such community named after a tree is Chokome in the Botianos electoral area of the Greater Accra region. GBC24's Emmanuel Amegashi has this report from the community.
Chokome is in the Botiano electoral area. The inhabitants are mainly fishermen. The community was named after a tree. Chokome is a Gan word which literally means one tree. An opinion leader of the town, Ajay Yaolui, who grew up in the community, explained to the news team how the name came about.
There was a big tree by the shore at the time, and when the landowners came to our parents for some deliberations, they requested to see them at home. Our parents said they rather would sit under this tree. Today, that tree is no more because the sea washed it away several decades ago. It was after that meeting that the name Chokome was birthed.
He said their immediate challenges are that when the spillways of the Wager Dam is opened, it floods part of the town. Also, the incessant tidal waves disrupts their activities. A resident showed us where the water level reaches in his home when the spillways of the dam is opened. During those times, they evacuate from their homes. Women generally are seen at the beach buying fish or engaging in fish-related activities. To get to the shore, they board canoes that ferry them for 50 pesos per head. We spoke to some fishmongers who gave us some insight into the business. Their clienteles come from Amprobi, Danu, Hohwe, Techiman, Bolgatanga, and Yendi. A fishmonger, Cecilia Agbeshi, said today the business has dipped and explained why.
Previously, there was nothing called light fishing. With the onset of this practice about 3 years ago and the use of chemicals for fishing, the fish stock has dwindled. When fishermen bring their catch, that is when our business booms. For about 3 months now, I haven't smoked any fish.
One other concern she expressed is the winning of sand and terrazzo chippings from the beach by the landowners. This, she says, is a bother to them as inhabitants of the community. Another fishmonger, Gertrude Sarneke, said their job is seasonal and capital intensive. Generally, if they smoke the fish, they store some against the lean season. Because the business has taken a nosedive, after paying the savings and loans companies that loan them money, they don't make any profit. She spoke about their health needs.
Our eyes hurt badly because of the smoke. Currently, I can't see well from a distance. We frequent the hospital for medical checkup.
Sanitation is a challenge at the shore. The assemblyman of the Botiano electoral area, Charles Ayite Ama, spoke about some challenges of the community.
We don't have refuse collectors, and this is our main source of occupation. So if you could see where we have rubbish, and then our women also battling with rubbish. It's a main challenge that we have in this community. We have public SHS, we have private. I'm pleading with the government, if any of these can be converted into an SHS for us, then we having a lot of JHS. We need an SHS that when they complete, they'll get in there.
Some youths the news team spoke to said they get their daily bread from fishing in the lagoon or by pulling drag nets from the beach. This is what Wisdom Obey the Law enumerated.
Because we don't have entrepreneurial skills, when the business takes a dip, we are found wanting. If we can get assistance to learn a vocation, we can get some respite.
Kelvin Defo also shared similar sentiments.
We, the youths of the town, do not have jobs, and if we can be assisted along those lines, we will appreciate it very much.
It is the wish of the community to enjoy social amenities like good drinking water and for the authorities to equip the nearby health post. Indeed, the landmark Chokometri is no more. However, the name still lingers on up until today. Emmanuel Amagashi, GBC24, Chokome.
Is gushing out at Nungwa near the railway station opposite the Queensland Primary School. Nearby residents say this has gone on for more than 2 months now, but despite persistent efforts to get the Ghana Water Company to attend to the situation, nothing has been done.
The water gushing out of the burst pipe at the Queensland Primary School is said to be treated clean water meant for supply to homes and other facilities. The residents say since they noticed the burst pipe about 2 months ago, they have made several calls to the Ghana Water Company for a solution to the problem, but all this has not yielded any results. A resident in the area spoke to GBC24 about the situation.
And you informed the water company about this situation?
Yes, but they didn't come.
The residents say they grieve over the amount of water that is lost to such neglect of a public facility. This situation has fueled the belief by a cross-section of the public that wastage is a major source of revenue lost to the utility companies. They say the earlier the problem is fixed, the better it would be for all. 2,000 gas cylinders and cooking stoves have been distributed to households at Ketekrachi in the Volta region. This is part of the Rural LPG Promotion Program and will help address the challenges associated with the use of solid fuels and reverse the harmful effect of the continuous burning of about 13 million tons of firewood annually.
Through the Rural LPG Promotion Program, overdependence on charcoal and wood as the main source of domestic fuel is expected to reduce. This is done by encouraging rural dwellers to switch easily from wood fuels to LPG without paying for the initial investment cost. Under the program, the government distributes free cylinders, cooking stoves and all related accessories to beneficiaries in deprived areas in districts across the country. The government also seeks to create demand in these low-access areas to serve as incentives to the private LPG marketing companies to set up in such areas. Since the program started in 2014, over 14,500 pieces of 6 kg cylinders, cooking stoves and related accessories have been distributed in low-access districts in the country. In all, 4 districts including Kwantan North and South, Karachi West all in the Volta region, and Nanumba North in the northern region will benefit from this distribution. The Volta Regional Minister, Madam Helen Ntoso, commended the Petroleum Ministry for extending the program to the region and urged beneficiaries to use their stoves to help reduce the health risk associated with the use of charcoal and firewood. The Deputy Minister for Energy and Petroleum, Mr. Benjamin Dagadu, said the government will increase the distribution of free cylinders under the Rural Liquefied Petroleum Gas Program. He also urged private LPG marketing companies to take advantage of this initiative to set up depots in beneficiary areas.
The Center for Communication and Culture and the Junior Graphic newspaper have honored 20 junior high school students whose essays on the topic "Why I Am Proud to be a Ghanaian" were adjudged the best among over 1,000 entries from across the country.
The InnoLink, or Junior Graphic Essay Contest, attracted entries from all regions of the country, from both public and private international schools. The first place was won by Esther Tete of Great Achievers Academy, Somanya. For her prize, she won an educational scholarship worth 1,500 Ghana cedis, 4 return tickets from Africa World Airlines to tourist attractions in the Ashanti region and other products. The second and third prizes of 1,000 Ghana cedis and 800 Ghana cedis respectively, 2 return tickets to tourist sites in Tamale and Accra, went to Abdul Fattah Donum of Day International School, Kwando in the Voto region, and Nana Kwejo Asario Kweku Yirenchi of Ghana Christian International High School, Dodowa. There were 17 consolation prizes of educational scholarships, sponsors, products, and certificates. InnoLink Security and Confidential Printers and Tesek Construction donated the cash prizes. The awards ceremony coincided with the finals of the Junior Graphic Spelling Bee competition. A member of the Board of Directors of the Center for Communication and Culture, Professor Esiadi, congratulated the winners and encouraged them to study hard. The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Nana Oyelitha, said the government is on course with plans for quality children education. The executive director of the center, Mr. Enemil Ashon, said the competition was to test the knowledge of JHS students on national issues and generally to encourage them to study hard, since that brings its rewards.
The Accra Airport wing of Rotary Club International has erected 2 instructional mini billboards each at the New Law Complex and Supreme Court premises in Accra.
The Rotary Club calls the 2 instructional mini billboards the 4-way test. The president of Rotary Club of Accra Airport Branch, William Ofori, said the decision to erect the boards comes at a time when the judiciary is expected to reclaim the trust of Ghanaians. He says the strategic location of the boards serves a reminder to all to be honest in all endeavors and at all times. He urged all public institutions to serve their ultimate purpose and be ready to account to the people.
This is News Hour on GBC24 and GTV. We'll be back with business news. Some business news now. Christmas is synonymous with celebrations, but to the animals who go under the knife, the festive season might be a scary period. This is because it is the last time animals like goats, sheep and chicken find themselves in slaughtering houses. And interestingly, it is also on festive seasons like Christmas that the monetary value of these animals are known. And in Accra, the average price of a goat is between 300 cedis and 700 cedis.
For some, especially the Christians, it is a time to mark the birth of Christ. For others, Christmas is a season for making money. To this end, Business operators adopt every marketing strategy at their disposal to jack up their sales in order to make up for losses incurred during the year. The story is not different in the camp of those who deal in livestock and abattoirs. This is because during Christmas, people buy a lot of livestock such as goats, sheep and cows for corporate, commercial and domestic use. Visiting some livestock centers in the capital, we found out how sales has been so far in this festive season.
Last year, we've sold much, and this year, this is the beginning. Since from 20th, we start selling, but gradually it will come up. You understand me? It depends, but inshallah it will come.
Somebody can buy 2, somebody can buy 4. Some people too are buying 100, some people are buying 14. But if you watch this year, more than the last year, market is going on and off. We are doing more sales, small.
Zachary added that the sale of billy goats was higher than that of the nanny goats because it is the preferred choice by customers during this season. However, Delwindi Hadi does not support the stand made by the above. He says that sales are not good as compared to last year's.
The Christmas, the market's not been going good because when we compare this year to last year, I think last year is good than this year because this year the market is slow. We don't know whether the customers are coming on tomorrow up to the new year. That is why we don't know.
There are many Ghanaians who want to celebrate the Christmas but can hardly buy a live goat. These customers usually make do with goats killed from the abattoirs. However, the insanitary condition in some of these abattoirs leaves much to be desired. But the sanitary conditions at this abattoir, which is referred to as Baba Haru House in Aveno in Accra, was better. What makes the work here different from most of the individual abattoirs in the city was that here the butchers do not use used car ties in taking the fur from the animals. Most people who do not want to go through the hassle of slaughtering the livestock on their own tend to rely on the services of the abattoir operators at a cost.
The stress involved in doing it is what I'm looking at because it's not easy doing it yourself because you need firewood, you need to go through the heat and other things. But here they can really do it neatly for you and at a lower price.
Some corporate institutions also use this avenue.
Actually, it's from my boss and his entourage, his colleagues, and other staff from the company where I work.
Most of these livestock which are sold commercially are either reared locally or imported from Mali and Burkina Faso. But in terms of size, the goats imported from the Sahelian regions are expensive compared with the ones from Ghana. The reason is due to the sharp fall of the cedi against the CFA. Abubakar Zakari is an importer of livestock from Burkina Faso and Mali. He said the price of the goats is 600 cedis and above.
The prices, especially the tall ones, range from 600 Ghana cedis upwards. And the local ones from 200 Ghana cedis upwards. And we have the crossbreed. So look here. The two here, we can sell it 885 going, all the two together.
His colleague Abubakar, popularly called Rasta, deals in goats that are raised in Ghana.
Like this one, so if I want to sell them, I'll sell them 1,070 million. That's the way if I want to sell this one. But we get the prices. We get from 2.5, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. But particularly this one, like 1,070 million.
It looks as if the report of bird flu in the country has helped in increasing the demand for goats and other ruminants.
I watched the news and this bird flu thing, it also scared me enough. Actually, I love chicken. But because of the news going around about bird flu, I decided to stay safe, to go for my goat. So that at least I can get ahead to do my light soup and some fufu.
Well, it is obvious that 2015 might pass as one of the difficult years for poultry farmers, but to the livestock farmers and dealers like Abubakar, this Christmas will pass an eventful one.
Business news. Next is the My Journey segment.
Good evening and welcome to the My Journey segment. My name is Grace Amponsa Sante. For some people living outside the capital, Accra is worth visiting. It is a world of its own, incomparably unique. Over the years, Accra has seen a lot of changes, and the city's bright lights are a magnet to many. The capital of the Gas State is characterized by almost daily traffic, both human and vehicular. Tall buildings, neat residential areas, and a mishmash of the slums. Only a small fraction of its population lives in the developed suburbs. Heading towards the outskirts of the city, a good fraction of the population resides in the rural areas. But life outside the city is congested, often with poor or little infrastructure. Some of the homes are mud houses with thatch roofs. I took a trip to Odumpala and Kudia, two towns in rural Accra. At about 8 o'clock in the morning, my crew and I left Broadcasting House in Accra on a journey to experience life on the outskirts of the city. The destination was Odumpala and surrounding towns, and I was high-spirited and looked forward to the adventure. After a few minutes of smooth drive on the tarred road at Medie through to Ajin Kotoku and nearby towns, we hit the dusty and untarred stretch. Still on our journey, a mini-sturdy bridge caught our attention. The river underneath the bridge, we were told, takes its source from the Denso River through Paso to Weja and enters the sea at Aplaku. After a little tour at that area, we hit the road to continue our journey from Paso through Domefase, Asaman, Babiman, and Kofikwe. The roads seemed to get worse as we went further and got closer to our destination, and we could count the number of vehicles that use the road, making motorbikes the preferred mode of transport here. Finally, we are at Odumpala. Our first point of call was the Odumpala MA Basic School. Mr. Sulepa Alidu is the headmaster of Odumpala MA Basic School. He tells me about his experience so far.
This is a farming community. So the children themselves, very early in the morning, they have to go and work, come and wash before they come to school. So this situation has affected the academic performance.
He appealed for some improvements in infrastructure to boost teaching and learning.
We want to appeal to everybody. They don't have the means. If they can all come and help the children, and at the end of the day, if they can help some of them to continue their education.
Barbara Doku is a teacher here. She narrates how lack of parental care impedes teaching.
With the parents, when they go out early in the morning, they go to their farms, they get tired when they come. So they go to bed earlier than the girls. And so it gives the girls the chance to go out, which they do not know. And even most of them, if they know, they don't care.
From Odumpala, we continued to a nearby village called Kudia. Pius Fiakuna tells me about this village.
The first leader that we have in the community passed on somewhere in 1995. And as we speak now, we only have a regent that is taking care of the community.
At Kudia, we met Pascal Kokurko Dibe. He is the brain behind the only school in Odumpala and the head pastor of the Kudia Community Church.
In 1977, I established a French school. So when I saw that the going became tough, I gave the school to the government in 1990. After they have taken over the school from me in 1990, they threw me out. They say others come from above, so they could not integrate me into the educational system.
Meet Seiram, Jamilatu and Rita. They are all JHS graduates and have put their dreams to go to senior high school on hold. They tell me why.
I made up my mind to continue my education, but due to financial problem, I'm not able to continue.
My parents doesn't have money for me to continue, so they asked me to go and learn trade.
My father is not taking care of me. Could not continue my education.
Esther Mensah, on the other hand, is a teenage mother who dropped out of school after she was impregnated by a jobless young man.
I want to continue the school again, if someone can help me.
She tells me life has been tough for her and her baby since the father of her child gives her not more than 5 cedis a week to cater for her child and herself. Esther, like many others in the village, blames the high school dropout rate and teenage pregnancy on financial problems and lack of parental care, amongst other factors. Leaving them with some words of encouragement to pursue their goals in life despite the odds, I left Kudia eager to tell the story of how life is for people living on the fringes of the capital, Accra. And there are other communities with similar stories. Let's help our less fortunate brothers and sisters to have a better future. My name is Grace Amponsa Asante. Join us next week when we take you around the country on the My Journey segment.
Let's do some international news now. Thousands of supporters of Burundi's president are protesting against the African Union's plan to deploy 5,000 peacekeepers to quell the country's escalating unrest. The demonstration in Bujumbura on Saturday was led by Vice President Gaston Sindiwo, who insisted Burundi's army is capable of halting violence and protecting all Burundians. Burundi has been rocked by turmoil since April, when it was announced that President Pierre Nkurunziza would run for a third term. Nkurunziza won re-election in July, but the violence has since escalated. Earlier this month, 87 people died when 3 military installations were attacked by rebels who said this week they are fighting to topple Nkurunziza, and at least 400 people have died since April, and so some 220,000 have fled to neighboring countries.
A Christmas Day bushfire has destroyed more than 100 homes in Australia's Victoria state. Officials said 98 homes had been razed in Wye River and 18 at Separation Creek. No injuries are reported. Hundreds of firefighters have been battling the blaze along the famous Great Ocean Road in Victoria's southwest, popular with holiday makers. A change to cooler weather and rain has greatly reduced the threat, but some emergency warnings remain in place. Some 1,600 residents and tourists from the popular tourist spot of Lorne were evacuated on Friday amid fears that a wind change would push the fire towards the town, but were allowed to return on Saturday. Many of those forced to leave their homes had to spend Christmas night in hastily arranged shelters. The expected evacuation of thousands of rebels from in and around Yarmouk refugee camp in southern Damascus has been put on hold. Safety issues and the killing of a top rebel have been blamed for the delay. Militants and their families were due to be bused to areas under the control of their respective groups under a deal between rebels and the government. About 18,000 civilians have been trapped in Yarmouk by the fighting and a government siege since 2012. Islamic State militants took over part of the camp earlier this year. They were pushed back by Palestinian militias and Syrian rebels after weeks of fierce fighting, and Yarmouk has since been divided into areas controlled by IS, the rival Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Nusra Front, and pro- and anti-government Palestinian militants. Government forces maintain checkpoints around the area, preventing civilians from leaving. We'll bring you some sports news.
In sports news, a repeat performance or revenge is the big question to be answered tonight when the two most famous cruiserweight boxers in Ghana, Brima Kamoko or Bukum Banku and Ayite Powers, mount the ring at the Babayara Stadium in Kumasi. The two weighed in below 100 kilos. Banku weighed 98 kilograms while Ayite weighed 93.2 kilograms to set the stage for their second clash in 4 months. And per the agreement, the two boxers are not expected to weigh above 220 pounds or 100 kilograms, and they both qualified within the range. The winner of the bout takes home 10,000 Ghana cedis, a Range Rover, and a holiday trip to South Africa. There will be 7 undercards on the night and spiced with massive entertainment featuring the likes of D Black and Shatta Wale. We'll be back with some entertainment news. Well, so let's do the story now. How does one kill boredom without courting trouble? And how does one use time profitably and enjoy every bit of it? The dual carriageway ride by the Jamestown Fire Service Training School in Accra comes alive on Sundays when risk riders turn the virtually unused portion of the road into a bike riding rally. And even though there is nothing at stake, it is keenly contested and has a good home crowd. It's a known Sunday ritual, mainly for the people of Jamestown and all lovers of motorbikes. At the scheduled time, the usual crowd gathered for another enjoyable spectacle. Just before the flag was lowered, or the starter's whistle if you like, this group of bikers gave spectators a foretaste. That was to signify the beginning of the risk riding. Things heated up when these riders joined the fray. And some participants spoke about their passion for the sport.
The crowd serves as motivation and encourage us to do what we do best. The only thing we need is to control the people on the crossing the streets. Somebody can cross you on a wheel, you can wheel speed, somebody will cross you. That's what we are. We have no control. I feel like Sundays coming here, entertain myself, then go.
The spectators say it's always an afternoon well spent.
Everything here is very entertainable. So I'm here to entertain myself. If you go outside country, this basket and everything, they get some places where everybody will get something to talk. You get my point? No, if they please open some place, they get good machines for them where they are open, and you can do better, you can help them small.
We should encourage because the foreigners, we watch telly and we see them everywhere with more shows and things. But like here, it's nothing else even in sport. We just have this volleyball and that is all.
For the various riders, this is a day to display all known skills, from the wheelie to skates to impress fans. The riders say it takes a lot of dedicated practice to perfect the drill, but we're quick to add that for safety reasons, any novice must not try this at home. And so for the people of this neighborhood, this is a good way to spend an afternoon showing off some riding skills to the admiration of your home crowd, even though there may not be a trophy at stake. Some arts news now. Do you know or remember the emergency numbers to call when there is a crisis? Christmas comes with lots of merrymaking and fanfare, And it is also a time when criminals carry out their nefarious activities. And the entertainment desk sought to find out how conversant people are with the emergency numbers of the security services and the level of response.
1, 2, 3, let's go!
Festive occasions like Christmas are often a good time to spend with families and friends, either at parties, concerts, movies, or in the comfort of the home. This is also when criminals take advantage to carry out their nefarious activities. GBC24 sought to find out how security-conscious people are and know the numbers to call when there is danger or when they suspect foul play.
192, 191, and then 18555, all for the police. That's what I know.
In fact, I'm not sure I'll know any of them.
GBC24 also spoke to some journalists.
Police is 191 and for fire service is 192 or 999.
I think I have a fair idea. The police is 191.
I think the police is 18555. That's 345.
It's on my phone, so I quickly just go there and find. If my phone gets busy, I have a backup.
Here is an example of what happened when a call was placed to the police at dawn.
It's now 1:21 a.m. and we just closed from a program at the National Theatre. And this is the festive season. We want to check whether the police will respond to emergency in case you've closed from a program and you are being attacked. Coming to dial the emergency number of the Ghana Police to find out whether someone will respond. Calling from GBC. We saw an emergency. I wanted to check whether you pick. We've called the other line, 191, no one picked, but this one you've picked. But I've seen some police patrol car going, and I've spoken with them. Thank you so much. Well, they picked the call. Let's continue with our story.
The emergency numbers to call are 191 18555 and 0302 77 3906. Memorize these numbers. They will be handy in moments of emergencies. But we must all make it a priority to call anytime the need arises.
Things are not the same anymore. Drinks so sweet, wine simple we say. Things are not the same anymore.
Well, I guess you just have to keep hitting redial till you get a response. Here are excerpts from the 2015 United Praise musical concert held in Accra.
Impact, an a cappella group, started the show with some melodious tunes. Sisi Chum was next to perform. SP Kofi Sapon also thrilled the audience with his performance. Joy Blessing was as usual the lady with a strong voice. OJ followed with his performance. The audience were put in a praise and worship mood by Joe Metal.
And chum chum,
Koda got the audience singing along.
Jesus is the bread of life, the living water. Come to Jesus now and come to Yesi Abato.
The event was put together by praise and worship artist No Tribe.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Badawara.
And it's the season to be merry, and as sure as day follows night, many are still in the celebratory mood. And let's enjoy a couple of Christmas tunes performed a little differently from what we know.
We leave you now with the main news in brief. Some farmers in the Upper West region are calling on the government to reimpose the ban on the cutting of rosewood in the region. They say without this, food production will drastically reduce in the next 2 decades.
Chokome is a community near Botiano in the Greater Accra region. Residents are calling on the authorities to provide them with social amenities to improve the quality of life.
And thousands of supporters of Burundi's president are protesting against the African Union's plan to deploy 5,000 peacekeepers to quell the country's escalating unrest. The demonstration in Bujumbura was led by the vice president. And that's how we wrap up this bulletin of news.
And today is your birthday, actually. Happy birthday, Akushika. May God continue to bless you and keep you.
Have a rip-roaring Saturday night.